This week on my blog, you will find all about discovery visits. So, how to get the discovery visit, what I'm going to run you through here is what you might call the standard version or the accepted philosophy of how to get discovery visits, and it definitely works. But I have a different method I'm going to talk about tomorrow to give you a different perspective of how you can do this and save time. Because I know, especially if you're at a small nonprofit, you have a small staff, you need to do the very most with every minute that you have in the day. So to run through this, the very first thing I would say, no matter who you're trying to reach out to, is are you leveraging your network? Make sure that if you have volunteers, donors, ambassadors that know the people you're trying to reach, make sure that they're opening doors for you, sending a friendly email to this person and saying, hey, I'd like to introduce you to Jessica. She works with this organization and she'd love to sit down with you and tell you more about it. Are you open to that? That is golden. That is exactly how volunteers and ambassadors should be engaging in fundraising. They don't necessarily need to make the ask themselves, but connecting you is like so important. Now, also, the accepted philosophy is you start with an introductory letter. This is great if you live in one local area and you can actually go see anyone who responds to that letter in a reasonable period of time. If your constituency is more regional or national, that's going to be a little bit more complicated, but it might help you plan sort of your anchor visits for different trips. But again, these are discovery visits. You're not really sure if these people are major gift prospects yet or not. So if you're trying to be very frugal with your budget, this may not be the best way to go. You might want to be more targeted for sending letters to different areas when you know you're already going to be going there. And then we start with email and phone call follow-up, because those are perceived in a lot of fundraising as being of less value than sending a formal letter. I would argue this is not necessarily the case, but of course, exhausting any method that you have for trying to reach people, whether that's through social media, if they're regularly engaging with your nonprofit on social media, or you know them personally and are connected to them through that method, texting, calling, emailing, etc. Just doing whatever you can to try to reach them and get the visit. And then if you still hit a dead end after all of that and you don't have good contact information, but you really think this person is a good prospect, just go on the internet and Google their name. You'd be surprised what information you can find. Maybe you can find a work email address that wasn't in your database already. And that's perfectly reasonable to send them an email at their work address that's publicly available. So this is what I consider the standard process. I'm going to show you my little remix tomorrow that I think is a more efficient way to get discovery visits and to kind of pair them with your what I call anchor visits, the folks that you know you need to be going to see that are already part of your orbit, to have really successful trips, and even use Zoom technology to make sure that you can reach more people.